What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable powered by BetUS. Week 11 is in the books tonight. We turn the page to week 12, where we will be previewing all three games within the division on the NFC East Week 12 preview episode. In order to do so, let's bring in the fellas, Jay Tuck, Al, Rio, and KB. We have three games within the division this weekend, fellas, including one interdivisional battle between the Cowboys and the Commanders, and that's where we'll start right now. And over on BetUS, man, oh man, imagine seeing this line just a year ago. The Commanders, 10.5-point favorites are they against the Dallas Cowboys at 1 p.m. this upcoming Sunday. By the way, all the lines we're going to talk about in this episode and all the lines in general for Week 12 are up on BetUS, and you can get in on them using the promo code YouTube150. That'll get you 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next two after that. All right, fellas, we got the Commanders and the Cowboys, and as you can see, double-digit favorites. It feels like every week now we're getting one of these games where the spread's massive, and we know last week, Detroit, they were a 14-point favorite against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They wound up winning by 46. So I'll start with you, Al. Not that big of a spread, but big enough nonetheless. Anytime you see a double-digit spread, you know what that means. Do you see a Lions-type game like we saw last week, or do you think the Cowboys can keep it competitive against these Commanders?
I think the Cowboys keep it competitive, man. I think they're going to fight. I think they're going to fight this game. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're going to give it a fight. They not home, so maybe they fight. I heard Micah Parsons saying, like, we're not a bad team. I think they're going to give it their all, but I don't think they all is enough. It's probably going to be like 27-17-ish type game. Or I wouldn't be surprised if the score is a little closer, but I think Dallas going to give it one last hurrah, but it's just not going to be enough. I think Washington just beat them because they're more talented.
Yeah, that's one of the silver linings of not having the playoffs to play for. There is something to be said about going out against a divisional rival and really trying to stick a fork in their I guess their playoff hopes at this point are pretty good, obviously, for the Commanders, but to really put a fork in the road, I guess, in terms of how they get there and what their seeding is. So, KB, I'll turn it to you. Do you think the Cowboys put that fork in the road for the Commanders, or do you think the Commanders just zoom right over it and get the job done?
Barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken.
Thank you, KB.
That's all I can say here. I've watched the Commanders, and listen, I'm probably the only guy on this panel who is like, let's wait and see what happens with Washington. And I'm already on board. Like they're on a tear right now. And you look at the Cowboys. We talked about it on the live stream. They're beat up right now. I mean, they're gonna go into every single game limping, and hoping they get out alive. So I think it's going to be somewhat similar to what we just saw, Texans versus the Cowboys. I think it may stay a little competitive in the beginning, and then Washington is going to pull away pretty handedly in the second half. I'm probably looking at like a 27-13 type game. Maybe Washington puts up more if they get like into a rhythm where they're like, you know, the 34 or 35 range like the Texans did. But man, I mean, it's going to be rough for the Cowboys these last couple of weeks. So that's kind of the games I'm seeing, especially a high-powered offense like Washington. I can see this getting pretty ugly in the second half. So I'm going to say like 27-13 Washington on top.
Rio, coming off of a couple of tough losses here, right? You have that 1-point loss to the Steelers. Then you have the divisional loss last week to Philly, but 7-4 right now. And man, I don't know if you could have a better setup right now, Rio. You got the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Saints back to back to back. Sign me up for that. It feels like the Commanders are going to be able to take care of all three, but they can't do that until they take care of Dallas. So I'll ask you, do they take care of Dallas? I feel like I know the answer, but I'm looking forward to hearing.
It's get right week, fellas. It is get right week because Dallas, it's a divisional game. So at some point they're going to fight early in this game, and that fight's going to end a lot sooner than you think. It's going to end faster than Tyson versus Paul because this is a very bad football team this year, and you're not walking in here with Cooper Rush and or Trey Lance and telling me that this is going to be a close game on Sunday. After the Steelers and the Eagles game, We desperately need our offense to get clicking again, and we got the perfect medicine lined up for us this Sunday. I know Dallas is down right now. I want to kick their backs in. I like kicking my enemies when they're down because they've humbled us and they've put a lot. I remember 56-14 on Sunday Night Football. I remember 45-10 on Thanksgiving last year. They had premeditated turkey wings in the Salvation Army tank last year. They were eating chicken on the field during the game. So we need to do a little bit. We got to get our get back. I need my lick back this weekend. We're not going to overlook them. We're not going to treat them like they're bad. We're going to come out like we're playing a contender this weekend, and we're going to put belt to ass from the opening kickoff. 41-10 Commanders.
J-Tuck, I know the playoffs are not in contention right now, but I can't imagine the joy it would bring you to upset the Commanders and come in here next week with Rio talking the way he's talking.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. I see it.
I'm asking you. That's what I want to know. I guess that's a great question, Rio. Do you want it? And do you think it happens? What do you see going on Sunday at 1:00?
No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm cool with that, man. Rio, I got no problem with Rio, man. But here's the problem. Here's the fun in all this, right? You saw the excitement in Rio's face, and you mentioned some of the blowouts, and you mentioned the turkey and chicken legs that we had eaten last year. But the person that's been doing that to y'all, he's not playing. So you don't get that satisfaction of beating Dak Prescott. Y'all beat up on our backup quarterbacks. I mean, y'all knocked Andy Dalton's head off, and everyone kind of stood and looked, before. So it's like they're not going to get that satisfaction.
I think Cooper beat us before too, man. He got Carson. He got Carson them out of here. And back in 2022. Yep, Cooper Rush got Carson.
Oh yeah, all right. You took it out Cooper Rush, man. But yeah, I mean, I like I said last week, when we played against the Houston Texans, I gave all of our viewers free money. I'm like Santa Claus. Take the -10, and then you can ladder that and take it to 14, and hell, maybe do it 20. Ladder it up on BetUS and get your free money. I just don't see the Cowboys winning this game. We just don't have the capacity. Not only do we not have the talent and the personnel, our coaching staff has checked out, right? So if you're going to say you're going to go out there with Cooper Rush and throw 50 times versus Dan Quinn defense, they will feast on our offensive line. So we can't run the ball. We can't pass the ball. I think our defense will play well. We're getting Deron Bland back, so I think that will help a little bit, especially the cornerback position, but it's not going to be enough. In order for the Cowboys to have some type of miracle victory and ruin our draft position, you have to be clicking on all three cylinders: defense, special teams, and offense. And right now, it's ham with no burger. Our defense finally shows up, and our offense can't. When we had Dak Prescott and we were battling versus the Ravens and we needed to stop, our defense wasn't showing up. The Dallas Cowboys just isn't a functional team right now. There's a lot of dark clouds and dysfunction going on, and I don't see them winning this game at all. And it sucks, Cowboys fans, but it is what it is. Travis Hunter film session coming soon.
I'd have to go back and look, but it feels like every time you've said to bet against Dallas, I think it's cash. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I got receipts all over Twitter, man. I mean, cash out like crazy.
I'm not kidding you. Just from my memory, it feels like every time you've said that. Plus, you did mention the ladder, and KB had said it in the live stream how last week they were only like an 8-point dog to Houston. So that ladder might not be the worst thing in the world to climb up on over on BetUS. Speaking of BetUS and speaking of the 1 p.m. window on Sunday, let's move over to the Giants taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Giants right now on BetUS are a 6-point home dog, and this will be their first game without Daniel Jones manning the helm. It will be Tommy DeVito taking on Baker Mayfield. Jay, I'll go right back to you with this one. Do you think the Giants get a little bit of that dead cat bounce with a new quarterback out there, or are the Bucks taking care of them on Sunday?
Yeah, not this time. Not with Tampa Bay. And I think there's been reports that possibly Mike Evans could be returning. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week, but it might be soon, right? But I think even
I hope he comes back.
right. We're just like, whatever, bro.
Speedy recovery, brother.
I think the funniest week is going to be Thanksgiving week next week when me and KB have to actually try to. It's like,
bro, I hope your team beats mine.
No, you're not. You're gonna get creamed.
Crazy Thanksgiving matchup, bro.
Yeah.
Versus Cooper Rush or Lance.
Is that the night game? Oh,
y'all the midday game, the 4 o'clock
Of course, we keep the midday for the bit. Yeah. Thanksgiving.
Well, everybody's gonna be talking anyway and party. Nobody's gonna watch that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on my third plate hitting my nap.
Plate number
Right.
That's one you just have to bet on BetUS in order to watch it. You know what I mean? That's
right. Yeah.
Them BetUS stat props are gonna be nasty.
Right. Tell me to veto under 115 yards.
You take the under.
Yeah, take the under. Yeah. What we're talking about. Whatever. Yeah. Take the ladder. We're talking about the Giants.
Giants.
Yeah. I forgot, man. Yeah, Bucks gonna wipe the floor with them. Baker Mayfield gonna dance all over the Giants, man. But I don't think the Giants are gonna care. But I think the Giants defense is still competitive. Maybe they'll toss Daniel Jones out there at safety, but I think the Bucks gonna go out there and handle the Giants easily.
Al, you feeling the same way on this one?
Definitely, man. Because the Bucks, right? They fighting for like seeding, so yeah, they're gonna go in and really try to win this. Yeah, they want that division. Falcons falling off a little bit, and they probably see this as an opportunity for them to get that spot. So they're going to play hard, and they're going to knock y'all off. Maybe they rested starters in the fourth quarter, but they going there with an agenda. Y'all want to lose, they want to win. So yeah, Bucks win this one easily.
They're also coming off of a bye too, so they are well rested going into this game. Rio, I got a feeling you're making it 3 for 3 here on the Bucks.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be none of this weekend, man. With Tommy Cutlets returning, I think it's pretty funny. Did y'all see Drew Lock get asked about why he was skipped over? Like,
oh my God,
he was like, as far as I know, I was the backup quarterback, and all of a sudden
they paid him $5 million as a backup. Like that's.
You, sir, you may win us a football game or two, man. Well,
yeah.
You stay where you're at. But no, Tampa's going to make quick work of them. The Giants defense will make it hard, especially considering Baker doesn't have any receivers. But it's going to be business as usual. I see a 10-13 point Tampa Bay Buccaneers victory and no Tommy Cutlets magic this week.
KB, you're at that point in the year where your rooting interest has completely flipped. So I got a feeling you're making it 4 for 4 here.
Yeah, crazy enough, I was supposed to go to this game. Thank God, I just said, you know what, I'm not flying all the way up there to go watch that game. So, I'll sit this one out. There's not much to say. I mean, the Giants are going to lose. And how poetic is it that Daniel Jones got his first start ever against the Buccaneers and won that game? And now the end of his tenure with the Giants is going to be right before a Buccaneers game. And Tommy DeVito is going to get his first start of the season. So kind of poetic a little bit there. But yeah, not much to say. I think the Buccaneers, especially if Mike Evans comes back, is probably going to wipe the floor of the Giants. As J-Tuck said, the defense is competitive, but in the second half, they completely let up because they're on the field so long. They're tired. They're worn out. They can't stop the run as it is, and the more you run on them, the more it's going to open up the pass as well. So, no point in really talking X's and O's here. You just take the Buccaneers on a lock, absolute lock. No pun intended.
The left side of the screen, man.
I forget the lock pun. I love that. It is funny though. It's like you can't straight answer and saying, "Well, I'd be out there if Daniel." Say the Giants were in playoff contention and Daniel Jones tweaked his leg. It's like Drew Lock would be out there. It's got to be a weird spot for him to be in, where you just get skipped over because. Hey,
I feel for him. I feel for him because he was told that he was not only gonna he was told he was gonna compete for the starting position, and they just lied to him. They paid him $5 million on a 1-year deal. They just flat out lied to him. Obviously, Daniel Jones is gonna be the starter. He's paid $40 million, and and now he's a backup, and now gets skipped over for Tommy Cutlets. So yeah.
If you want to lie to me for $5 million, hit me in the DMs.
Yeah, right.
I volunteer.
I'll act shocked. I'm like, I am perplexed. I'm appalled. Oh my God.
Well, hey, we do have a good game in this division this upcoming Sunday, fellas. Sunday night football. The Birds heading out to SoFi Stadium to take on the Rams. This should be a good one under the lights. The Eagles right now 8-2, coming off of that W over the Commanders. Meanwhile, the Rams fighting for a very, very tight NFC South, also fighting for a playoff spot at this current juncture of the season. So big game for both teams. Philly right on the heels of the Detroit Lions for the 1 seed as well. So every one of these games is massive for Philly, and this will be a tough test for them. J-Tuck, I'll start with you. 3-point Favorites are the Philadelphia Eagles on the road on BetUS. Do you think they take it on Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, even the Rams are 5-5 right now, and we know they have a Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford. I think the Eagles handle this game. I think they're a little bit more talented now. It's going to be on the road Sunday Night Football, so I expect it to be kind of high scoring because we always know that Matt Stafford likes to show out. But I think Philadelphia handles this game. Like I said, once again, the Eagles defense is playing solid. You have Saquon Barkley, you have AJ Brown. I'm sure Al can talk about this. I think Smitty has a hamstring issue. They're gonna give it a go or whatnot. But I think even if they don't have Smitty, they're just gonna find ways to get AJ Brown involved. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles offense is gonna be too much for the Rams defense. Even though they got some young kids out there, especially some of my Seminoles and Jared Verse and Braden Fisk playing well, I think the Eagles win this game on the road in a close one, but it's gonna be a fun one to watch on Sunday night.
KB, how you feeling about Sunday Night Football? Who takes this one?
I think the Eagles are going to take this one. The Rams have been competitive this season for sure. But I think the Eagles are going to take this one. They're coming off a pretty good win in the division. And are they away in this game? I didn't.
It's in
they
LA.
are away in this game. Okay, it's in LA. That may be the difference there if the Rams were to win. But I think this will be a really competitive game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm excited to see Matt Stafford go up against that Eagles defense. Of course, I'm be rooting for the Rams, but I think the Eagles are going to pull this one out here. I think it's going to be really close. Let's say like 23-20, something around there.
In all likelihood, there'll probably be more Eagles fans there than there
I
will
was
be
just
Rams
going to
fans.
say that.
That's how it is at SoFi,
is,
man.
yeah.
That's how it is at SoFi. It was like that for the Giants in like 2021 where we were terrible. I mean, it's
No, that's how. I don't know how these guys do it. I don't know how they go out there and get motivated to play at home when they're basically away 17 games a year. It's wild. Rio, what do you think happens on Sunday Night Football, Rams or Eagles?
I'll tell you what, I'll be rooting like hell for the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday because I need the Eagles to lose another game at least. 2 would be lovely before we see them again. But the Eagles are a much better football team, but the Rams are going to make it tough. Matt Stafford has been in his bag since he got his full arsenal of weapons back. Some of their rookies are hooping. Jared Verse is having quite a rookie season. I know Jay Tuck could tell you a lot about that guy. And Kyron Williams is one of the people that's holding my fantasy football team. He got it on his back right now. I think it's going to be closer to a shootout type game, but the Eagles are going to come out on top, but I hope I'm wrong.
Well, there you have it, fellas. The Week 12 predictions are locked in, and we look forward to seeing what goes down this upcoming week
Go to
in
Al.
the NFL. Oh my
Come
God.
here.
I'm
I'm about to say, hey, I think we're gonna win too.
I'm here. Look at that, Al. I think subconsciously I knew you were going to tell me that the Eagles were going to win. I didn't even give you the chance to tell me how they're going to win. My apologies, Al. Please tell me what I'm expecting to see from the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
We should definitely win this game. But what I will be watching is our defense. It's like every week we go through this. Like, is this defense actually legit? I want to see what we do against Puka Nacua and like Cooper Kupp, and if we could hold them down, I'm like, yeah, this defense is really good. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Us coming off the mini bye. But we need this win because that Baltimore game is like iffy. Like we fall against them. If we fall against the Rams and Baltimore again, we somewhat in trouble for that first seed. So this game we definitely need.
2 huge, yeah. I mean, the Eagles, 2 huge games coming up. I cannot wait for that Baltimore game though. The following week, that will be as good of a out of conference game as there is, especially knowing what Lamar is against NFC opponents. This is definitely one the Eagles want to put in the bank going in to that game. All right, now, fellas, the Week 12 predictions are in the books, or locked in, rather. The Week 12 is not in the books. When it is in the books, I look forward to seeing what we wind up getting out of all of the teams within this division this upcoming weekend. On your way out the door, if you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button and also hit that like button if you could. Also, take advantage of all of the Week 12 lines that are currently up on BetUS. Use the promo code YouTube150. That'll get you 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next 2 after that. For Jay Tuck, Al, Rio, and KB, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much for tuning in to the NFC East Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.